everyone, John Henry here, slingshotfutures.com, and welcome to the Market Mindset, where we dig into the reasoning behind the moves today so that we can better understand tomorrow. And today, we're going to be taking a look at the old gold futures. Now, today, as you can see, it was quite the wild ride on gold, where we had just a massive run higher, and then it completely fell apart and turned right back down again for a massive move lower. And it went even further through the lows and is now continuing to the downside. So a very interesting kind of sentiment that we've had so far on gold. Now, if we look at yesterday's information, we really didn't get a ton to work with from Friday, right? We did have the possible channel that formed the prior day. That was on the low right there, and that looked pretty nice, and we opened up directly on that level as a level of support. The buyers bought that retest and turned back higher after a nice little gap down. Now, we also did end the day with a nice bullish rally moving its way higher, and arguably another, maybe not so much a channel, but a wedge definitely yesterday, which is a little bit of interest because we had that big bull move at the end of the day going into Friday, strong bull candle at the very end of the day, and then we open up gap down. There's going to be a lot of buyers that held through the weekend that are going to hate everything about this move down. But knowing that we're coming off of a level of support, buyers will try to buy into it for a bounce up. Now, the reason I don't have it marked up here is because of the contradicting sentiment here. We have buyers that may be exiting for a loss. We have buyers that may be coming in for a test here. So you're kind of fighting each other. The first candle of the day also isn't that great looking, so there are a couple issues just kind of waiting to see what they do. The second candle, it does confirm that the buyers are still trying, but that's even weaker than the first. Bunch of wick on the top, just not that great. And then this big bad boy shows up out of nowhere, hammers higher with just a gargantuan run to the upside. That pretty much shut down all question in what was going on. We need to be long now. The buyers are very obviously taking over the market, and we're looking for at least another attempt back at the highs, if not for maybe this candle doubling itself up. So we know that the buyers are heavily cemented into this move, trying to drive the market higher. Buying into that move, looking for a continuation to the upside, we started running into a little bit of a problem. We're forming a very small little ascending wedge. It attempts to break higher, pulls back. That's very common in this kind of move because nobody really wants to buy way up here. After a move like this, that's way too expensive. They want to get a better price than that. So that first pullback, very likely going to succeed in a second attempt back towards those highs. We get that pullback, beautiful little pullback right there, and a gorgeous signal candle to get the buyers in, and that follows up another move to get going to the upside. But then we start running into a little bit of trouble for the buyers. Not only do we know buyers are in here, but now we're running into a little bit of a ceiling. We're seeing the buyers push up, they're having a hard time here. They pull back, they try again, another really hard time here. They close weakly and they try it again, another really hard time there. And then we move into a massive bear rejection off of that level. It looks as though at this point, the buyers who've been trying to buy this over and over and over and over again, they're now exiting saying, you know what, it's just not going, get me out of the trade. I don't want it anymore. And then we start forming a little bit of a wedge, and that breaks down as well. Now all of the signs are starting to shift towards buyers are out, sellers are starting to take over. And now we start to expect to see a pretty big run to the downside. At least, a standard pullback would be about halfway, and the halfway pullback also coincides with a gap fill. So a lot of areas of interest right in that location there. And that didn't hold either. It continued slamming lower all the way down into a new low of the day, and then it kept going. So with that massive bear sentiment to the downside, any first pullback that you get, the sellers are very likely going to sell into, and that one is right there. Quick little snap down to the lows again, and now we're starting to see the bears continue to hold. Buyers tried to come in, and they failed. Buyers try to come in, all they managed to get was a doji, and it closes right back down to the bear side. We're looking for another press through the lows, and that's about all they had in their system before we started running into areas of support at the bottom. So just a really interesting day today, and I think the best term that you could use for today would be considered vindictive. There's a lot of back and forth and a lot of people getting slapped in the face today, but as long as you stuck with the plan, use correct risk reward, you still made it out alive at least, and that's about all we can ask for in a day like this. So overall, really interesting day, lots to learn from. So that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you learned something, hopefully you found it interesting, and we'll see you next time.